Hello everybody, welcome back to Menopause, your management, your way, now and for the rest of your life. You know how you sometimes hear a warning before a television show informing you that the subject matter may not be appropriate for young viewers? Well, this one is kind of just the opposite. This one is all about informing young viewers. And, you know, it's up to you whether or not you want them to actually watch the video. But this is all about informing young viewers. In the video before last, we talked about how your menopause affects your man. It was the male perspective of menopause. And all sorts of problems stemmed from the fact that men don't know what the heck menopause is. Well, your kids don't know what it is either. And guess what? There are a whole bunch of problems that result from their lack of knowledge too. And since it's your job to educate your family members about menopause before you start suffering from it, I'm going to tell you how to tell your kids about menopause. You know, in the video for men, I enlightened you about the DVD I made especially for them. And surprisingly, it might be easier to tell your man about menopause than it is to tell your kids about menopause. And that's because men are more generic than kids. So my Menopause 101 for Men DVD may be all you need for your man. But kids, there's a lot more variation among kids. Plus, many of you will be delivering this information to kids who are approaching or in the midst of puberty themselves. And that makes it more tricky too. So this video is one to help you tell your kids about your menopause. And you don't need the book or the notes. Just sit back and enjoy listening to what I think is an effective way to warn your kids about what's going on with you. First, do you remember the very first time your child did something that made you think, uh-oh, puberty has arrived? It was sort of like a warning bell, right? It put you on alert. You knew you'd be riding the wild waves of puberty for the next few years. And so you adjusted your expectations, you padded your patience, you prepared yourself for the rocky road ahead. And as your child stumbled his or her way through the transition to adolescence over the next couple of years, you just kind of held your breath from time to time, knowing that it wouldn't last forever, right? At times it was harder for you than it was for your child. And of course, there were instances when you were so angry you could scream. And you were probably always eager for it to be over. But there was nothing you could do to speed up the process of maturation, right? You just had to take it in stride and let nature take its course. And because you were prepared in advance, you all got through it just fine, right? Now, can you imagine what it would have been like if you had had no idea that puberty existed? Do you think you would have had the same level of patience or success? When things were at their very worst, do you think you would have kept your cool and stayed the course if you had had no idea what was going on or if it would ever end? Well, now reverse the situation. Now you're the one who will be going through puberty in reverse. And your child will have to endure it with you. The big difference is that your child has no idea that menopause exists. And when it starts, all he or she will know is that mom is acting very strangely. And you know what kids do when you start acting strangely? They treat you like a stranger, and they become estranged from you. They distance themselves. They stop talking to you about their own problems. They stop seeking your approval. And you become unimportant in their lives. My goodness, you worked so hard to bond with your children when they were born. Why throw it all away now? So, how about this? Why not have a little talk and kill 2 puberties with that one little talk? Don't you remember when your mom sat you down and said, honey, we're going to have a little talk, and she told you all about starting your period and having breasts and all that stuff? See, you can prepare your child for his or her puberty and your menopause at the very same time. It would go something like this. Let's say you have a daughter, Barbie Jr. And what you do is you say, Barbie Jr., you're going to start noticing some changes in your body soon. But I'll be having some changes of my own too, so you won't be alone. We'll be like twins going in opposite directions. It'll be fun. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to see blood coming out of your vagina. And it'll mark the beginning of your life as a woman who can get pregnant. At about the same time, blood is going to stop coming out of my vagina, and it's going to mark the end of my life as a woman who can get pregnant. Oh, and Barbie Jr., your breasts are going to grow and lift up and protrude. My breasts are going to shrink and droop and sag. Oh, and Barbie, you're going to grow hair in your armpits and your crotch. And I'm going to grow hair on my chin and chest. You're going to start getting curves in your body. And I am going to start losing the curves in my body. You'll start feeling really sexy and feminine. And I'm going to start feeling completely unsexy and masculine. You're going to be moody and sassy and want to shoot somebody. And so am I. You'll start arguments with everybody and be really mean to people at times. And so will I. We may not even like each other for a while. And you might be sad and miserable at times. But honey, I'll feel most of those things with you. You see, what you're going to experience is called puberty. And what I'm going to experience is called menopause. See, menopause is just puberty's evil, older sister. The most important thing is that feeling discombobulated will be temporary for you. After a while, we'll snap back to being ourselves and we'll live happily ever after. Well, you'll snap back even if I don't. Now, of course, if your child is male, the conversation is going to be a little different. You'll say, Ken Jr., you're going to start noticing some changes in your body soon. But don't worry, I'll be changing too. So we'll get through it together. We can even have a contest to see who wins. You're going to have a growth spurt and get very, very tall. At the same time, I'm going to start shrinking and get too short. You're going to feel like you can sleep all the time. I'm going to feel like I can't sleep at all. Your voice is going to get deeper. And so is mine. You're going to grow hair on your chin and chest. And so will I. Your skin will get dry and scaly. Mine too. And you'll start gaining weight. But I'll gain right along with you, and I'll keep gaining long after you've stopped. And you're going to crave carbs, but I'm going to crave carbs and alcohol. And you're going to get really ugly acne. Me too. You're going to get aggressive and feel like punching people out. But I'm going to get aggressive and I'm actually going to punch people out. And you're going to get erections all the time. I'm going to have orgasms none of the time. And your sex drive is going to skyrocket while mine is going to plummet. But honey, it'll all be temporary for you. After a while, you'll snap back to being yourself and will live happily ever after. You'll be a young man And I'll be an old lady who feels like an old man. Now, you can change these tenses as necessary to comport with the sequence of events and timing within your own family. Now, ideally, you'll have these conversations before any of these changes take place. And hopefully, you won't have all these events going on in your household at the same time. But regardless of the timing, why not prepare everyone for it at the same time? I mean, I know I made it kind of jokey and funny and teasy, and it's certainly no joke, but you know, I hope you can appreciate the fun I try to inject into these videos, and I'm just really trying to make learning fun for you. The point is to realize that everybody's going to transition in one direction or the other, and it's your job to make sure they're all prepared. And if everybody knows what's going on, your family life is going to be a lot smoother. So take that as a little fun way of thinking about it, and be sure you remember you do need to inform your family about menopause, your man and your kids. So I hope this was helpful, and if it wasn't helpful, I hope it was kind of fun. In any case, as with this tutorial, the chaos will not last forever. The key is to get through it whole and happy. So I'll leave you here for now. This one's short and sweet, and the message is be sure you inform your kids before you start going through all of this. Meet me again next week. In the meantime, I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Make comments on the videos. Let me know how these little talks with your kids go. Bye.